Well, grand rising, and peace, peace, peace to everyone on this moon day. Literally is technically a moon day because A is Monday, and two, because we are having a new moon in Capricorn today, which is very interesting for me because I was born on a new moon in Sagittarius, which was literally 8 hours before the new moon in Capricorn, almost 6 decades ago. So, yeah, so we're going to get into that a little bit. Hello, everyone. This is Oracle Deborah with the Oracle Deborah podcast on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by again. I'm probably, first of all, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. I know this whole video thing is about the title and about clickbaits and all this other stuff. And I know we are averse to the clickbait stuff. Um, but I try to be authentic and try to be more creative and try to be more interesting with my titles so that people would be interested via the title to come and check out what I have to say. I am also getting a little better in putting strategic timestamps in the description or the comment section. If you go back to my video on KRS1, I actually went back and found the video link for that, and I put it in a comment for that because I figured out why my sound wasn't playing. Um, it didn't take long to find out. I just needed the focus, the concentration and the focus to troubleshoot. And so I figured it out. And excuse me. And so we're back up and running. So if I choose to play a video today, all copyrights, of course, will be in play. Um, you will hear the sound. But in the meantime, like I said, for KRS1, let me see if I can quickly. Let me see. This is. I know a lot of people. This is episode 7 of my channel, and I recorded it about a month ago, which is probably the end of November. And yeah, so that's in there now. So when people find my channel, they will see it. Give me 1 second. I need to close the door so that I don't interrupt the sleepy in the house because it is a holiday. Right. And I am multitasking. And I'm also procrastinating a little bit. I need to get back to my class, but my mind doesn't seem to be quite there this morning. Uh, Maybe because I had to troubleshoot some other things, and I have some other things pending, and okay, such is the way as the place of the melanated woman. All right, but thank you again for stopping by. Appreciate you. And just, gratitude for just, like I said, for just commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing. Um, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Um, I think I mentioned it in my last video. I don't want to repeat something that I've already gone over. And of course, my notes are elusive to me right now. Yes, 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 it is. Um, quite elusive. I have no idea. Maybe this is it here. It is it. Let's see. Um, yeah, I think I maybe mentioned it already, but I did do this interesting video on emotions, and I thought it was interesting, of course. My video, I thought it was interesting. And I hope you guys check it out because I really do kind of get into some alternate ways to view and manage emotions. And I know emotions can get out of control. And I also know for some people, it drives people crazy. And I know, especially in business, and literally, honestly, in our whole social circles, it just isn't the most effective way of um, communicating, or it leaves you susceptible or vulnerable to being manipulated, blackmailed, emotionally blackmailed, um, and all kinds of other things. And it is kind of exposing, and people do view it as being very immature. But, if that's the case, I mean, look around the world. We have a lot of immature people because they make a lot of decisions based on emotion. So we link it to women and the way we communicate. But like I said, if you just open your eyes and look around the world in and of itself, the wars, decades of wars, you know, the trauma, everything, robberies to white collar crime to the government shutdown debacles, all of that it has to do with emotion. We might say, this is just, strategy and things like that. No, it's BS. It's emotion. All of it is emotion. Um, so yeah, so definitely go check that out. As I said, moving on, which is one of my focuses for, this coming season, new season in 2025, is moving on quicker, much quicker than before. Um, but anyway, we are in a new moon in Capricorn. Like I said, this is very interesting for me because I was born on a new moon in Sagittarius. They call it the black moon. They also call it the dark balsamic moon. And I have been watching this moon pretty closely, or more closely than I would normally do, because I wanted to see where exactly in this particular transit, and there's no telling where it was when I was born, but in this particular transit, what I was feeling. Now, I wasn't tracking what I was feeling during this time period because I assumed it was going to be a bit intense. And to my surprise, yesterday when I woke up, I had so much joy. I felt so much joy in my heart. Like my heart felt really full. And I mean like an overflow. It's almost like, going to church and you get this good music and good sermon and something touches you and your heart's just feeling full and overflowing. Um, or you just go out with family and friends and whatever the circumstances might be. But there's this feeling of this immense joy in your heart. Could come from good news, or, someone finds out that they're in remission for cancer, or whatever the case may be. And for me, I can't explain how it would feel for you. For me, it's like there's a feeling of swelling in my heart. And I just want to share this feeling. I just want to connect with someone I haven't connected with, or someone I'm already connected with. I just have this immense feeling of joy in my heart. And it feels like my heart is swelled. And there's just an overflow of love in my heart. And I felt that yesterday morning when I woke up and I began journaling, and I noticed it. And I said, where is this moon? This moon must have moved into Capricorn. And to my surprise, it had not moved into Capricorn yet. It was still in Sagittarius. And there was just as slight as a slither of the waxy moon left, because we are in a waning crescent right now. And I thought, interesting. So when the moon is in Sagittarius for me, when I was born, there was a lot of joy there. My heart, I'm pretty sure I can relate to where things were back then. I just feel like I could be totally wrong, but this is how I am connecting the dots. Okay. So just go with it. Um, and I just felt like there had to been an immense amount of joy at that time as I am ready to give, as my mother was ready to give birth, if you will. And I was ready to enter into this new realm. Because, in the past, over the last year or so, I noticed there was a lot of contention when the moon moved into Sagittarius and Capricorn. Like it really seemed to, it was just a contentious feeling, and I felt like I wanted to hide, and I never understood that. Excuse me. And I was on Clubhouse at the time, so this had to have been early 2023, where I went into a room and there was an astrologer there. I didn't know she was an astrologer in this particular room, but I asked a question about why I feel, so debilitated when the moon moves into um, Sagittarius. Now, granted, I didn't know if it was a full moon or no moon at that time. I don't recall, but I did feel like there was a pattern. And she went over like my whole chart and my pros and my bit. Good Lord, can I just talk right? She went over like my strengths and my weaknesses, things like that. And there were more strengths than weaknesses. And she was really detailed. Like she got down into the weeds of it all. Anyway, I decided I needed to do some shadow work because, you know, or learn to accept whatever this energy was around the Sagittarius moon. And it worked. It actually worked. Like, so when the moon began to come around in 2024 this year, and I was paying attention to how I was feeling and where I was and things like that, it was manageable. It was nothing like it was before prior to this year. So I thought, I'm good. I did healing in some areas that needed some attention and it worked. So fast forward to yesterday, I am paying attention to this moon. I'm feeling this overwhelming feeling of love. And I just, I thought this is amazing, you know? And I'll tell you how I managed that in a minute, but let's fast forward again to today. I wake up this morning and I felt prematurely. Now it's interesting because the night before, i.e., Saturday into yesterday, Sunday, um, I napped a lot. I napped for about 2 to 3 hours in a day. I was out that night. I came back and I worked until about, I don't know, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed and I was up at 5:30. So technically I only slept like 3.5 hours, but I felt great, right? I felt really good. It didn't make sense, but I felt really good. Last night, I I went to bed probably somewhere around 11, give or take. Yeah, somewhere around 11. And I wake up at, you know, again, same time, about 5:30, 5:34, almost the exact same time as yesterday. And I felt so tired. And the thing is, I slept straight through, and I haven't been doing that lately. And I dozed back off to sleep, and the alarm woke me up at 6 o'clock, and I just felt, ugh, like I didn't get enough sleep. I was cranky. I felt tired. I didn't feel rested. And I go to my journal and I look at the moon phase. I thought the moon must have moved. I'm sorry, I thought the moon must still be in Sagittarius. And to my surprise, the moon had moved into Capricorn through the night. So I said to you that I used to feel pretty debilitated when the moon was in, I don't know if I mentioned Sagittarius and Capricorn, but that was the case, both Sagittarius and Capricorn. And I felt that contention this morning when I woke up, and I didn't feel rested, even though I slept longer. I slept consistently without breaking my sleep. Um, and so, by all intents and purposes, I should have felt great. And I just felt like I didn't sleep enough, which was really odd. But again, I noticed the moon had moved into Capricorn throughout the night. Um, so that's kind of like my story with this new moon energy. And when I was born, maybe I felt this excitement when I was in the womb and, ready to go into this new realm. And then I got here and there was nothing but contention in my household. There was nothing but um, resentment and hostility. That's the best way I could put it. It was just hostility and resentment and just, anything that's opposite of love, pretty much. That was the environment that I went into. Um, so it reminded me a lot of this Capricorn moon. And like I said, I was born 8 hours before the moon moved into Capricorn back then. So anyway, that was a whole long story to kind of share with you some history with me with the moon. With the new moon in Sagittarius, i.e., and not i.e., but and Capricorn. So here we are. Um, yeah, you should be, and you should get all that more next. Okay, sorry, I was just reading something. All right, so let's get into this new moon. I'm just honestly, I'm going to share an article. Let's see, but I want to choose a good one. And I usually like the yoga journal. But here's another interesting one. So let me see. Oh, this is actually quite interesting because this gives some history. There's an article here that says the Capricorn Black Moon, which is a new moon, which happens today at approximately 5:30 something p.m. today. But the moon has already moved into Capricorn. The official new moon will be around 5:30 or so p.m. today, which is quite interesting because I've been waking up at like 5:34. And I think that's the same time it moves into the moon. It becomes like a full new moon at that time today. But this article here from the Hindustan Times says the Capricorn Black Moon today happens once every 29 years. This is how the zodiacs can manifest their dream life. Now that's interesting, and it makes kind of sense. Um, well, I don't know. Why would that make sense? Why would it be 29 years? Let me see. Uh, let's see. I'm just reading through this article. Okay. It doesn't say why. Now, I don't know. I can't just take this at face value. I honestly would like to, let me see if I could find it and share my screen with you. That would be actually better. So let's see. Hang tight with me. And Understand Times, the Capricorn Black Moon. See if I can find this article. He says a rare event equivalent to a leap year. Let's see if I could find. I think this is Hindustan Times. Have a lot of, golly, a lot of ash is popping up, and it doesn't even tell you where to click off. I think this is it. So close. Let's close that. Golly, I'm telling you, I'm incorporating golly because I'm trying to, I guess. I swear I can't with this. The articles are popping up and it's not allowing me to exit. So I'm going to share my screen, but honestly, I'm going to tell you that we might be bombarded with so I'm going to share sound because we know that was the issue before. So that's not it. This is not the article I'm looking for. This is absolutely not the article I'm looking for. So I'm going to, this is it. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's going to be, there you have it. These people, let me see. These ads are just over the top. As you can see, there, okay, it just goes away on its own. There's another ad here. Just insane. Insane. Stop seeing this ad. Okay. I'm just trying to get to. All right, but as you see here, the Capricorn Black Moon today happens once every 29 years. This is how the zodiacs command. Okay. All right. So what is this saying? Big things are coming for everybody. You know, yada yada yada. That is not true, actually. Big things are not coming for everybody. This is the first new moon in the sign Capricorn, which will take place without Pluto being stationed in the zodiac. But that's since the last 16 years. We know that. I'm going to disagree with this a little bit too. You know, where it says for those who haven't patiently weathered Pluto's immensely potent energies of death, destruction, transformation for over a decade and a half, they won't truly gauge how doubly gratifying Capricorn's first Pluto-free new moon in a long, long time feels. Let me tell you, Pluto in Aquarius is punching quite is packing quite a punch itself. And quite honestly, I would have never admitted this 2 months ago. Or I would say even, yeah, not even 2 months ago, I would have said that in a sense, I miss Pluto and Capricorn because it shielded me from some of the devastations I've been experiencing with Pluto being in Aquarius. Pluto and Capricorn was sort of kind of protecting me. At least it feels that way. Um, Pluto and Aquarius is just different. It's still Pluto. So Pluto is going to do what it does, right? So the fact that it's not in Capricorn, it doesn't mean you won't feel the effects of Pluto. But we also have Saturn in Pisces. And if you're like me, that is also a Saturn return. That could be a Saturn return for you as well. Jupiter is in Gemini. That is also a Jupiter return for me. And I think I have one more. I have Jupiter, Saturn. I have Pluto, which we just came out of that. And I think there's one more. Venus is in Aquarius. So that is also a return for me. So there's no telling why my heart was feeling like it was bursting open yesterday. I was just looking at it from the moon stage. But yeah, I disagree a little bit with that. You know, that's the general consensus for most, but um, I'm not interested in this ad. All right. So, all right. So they break it down in fire signs. Not a big fan of this either. All right. So I don't want to share anymore. I don't want to share this article anymore because it's not. I want to share something else. So let's see if I could find. Capricorn. I tend to like this particular publication. So let's see. There we go. New Moon in Capricorn. Yeah, this is why I don't understand why they said, there was a new moon in Capricorn back in January of this year. So January. So I'm not really sure what this 29-year thing is. I don't know. See, this is me in my learning stage, if you will. Okay. Let's see if we can get down to. So I think I'm gonna have to be a little more specific in my search. Hang tight. I'm sorry. Um, December. This is the last new moon of the year. I will say that. This is the last new moon of the year. Okay. So here we go. I found what I was looking for. It wasn't so bad. Yeah. Okay. More ads. All right. I'm just trying to get past the ads. There's a lot of ads. God. Um, I, here's another. Okay. I don't know, babes. I just, it's over the top. Yeah, I think it's over the top. All right. So, all right. Here we go. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like I just lost. I literally just lost what I was looking for. All right. So the last new moon of the year, and here we are again. I don't know if they're just not. I don't know if they're just not. It's kicking me out. They're kicking me out. Hmm. They are literally kicking me out. Let's see if I can get out of here. So what I may have to do, what I may have to do is just read it from my phone because this is not. This is not helping me. I think it's going to do the same thing all over again. Yeah, see. I don't want to. Oh, here. Yeah, they're forcing me to do a free trial. Um, but they let you look at it on the phone, but they won't let you look at it on that. You're being silly, yoga journal. You're being silly. Yeah, I can't get out of this. So I'm gonna have to stop sharing. Sorry. All right. So I'll have to read it to you from my phone. That was disappointing. All right. So we are in the last new moon of the year. It is the new moon in Capricorn, which is today, happening today, Monday, December 30th, 2024 at 5:28. Well, it's saying 2:28 a.m. Pacific time. I don't think that's correct. As you see, I question a lot of things now. I'm looking at my app to see if it will tell me something, if it would give me a time. So now I have to, I'm doing research while I have you on the line. I'm sorry. I think I think this time is when the moon moved into Capricorn, but not when the official new moon occurred. That's my thought. All right, hold on, babes. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm having such an issue with this. I like the yoga journal, but that was deceiving. This new moon takes place officially at 5:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, at 9 degrees and 43 minutes in the sign of Capricorn. I mean, literally, that's all I wanted to know. Yoga Journal just made me question why I, you know, use them as a source. Everyone keeps saying this is a kumbaya moon. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think this is a kumbaya dream. Um, all right, so I am going to go back and see what else, because the time is wrong. I'm just going to tell you that they have here 2:28 a.m. Pacific time. Even if that was 5:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that was when the moon moved into Capricorn. That was literally almost when I woke up and felt like crap, to tell you the truth. All right, so it says that this new moon, this is the yoga journal. Ugh. I don't know if I want to share the source after they got this time all messed up. It says it brings a unique blend of energies in the end of the year as it bridges the old and new. It's time for celebration, gratitude, but also focus and intention setting. That's every new moon, honestly. As a cardinal sign, Capricorn grounds us helping us navigate life's complexities with clarity and purpose. It's ruled by Saturn, we know. Capricorn embodies the steadfast sea goat, capable of conquering both land and sea. That is absolutely true. Its energy reminds us that with determination, no goal is out of reach. Capricorn encourages full commitment to our endeavors, setting a powerful tone for the year ahead. On this last new moon of 2024, focus first on what you are letting go of this year. We kind of talked about that, so they're on point with that. Reflect on what you have experienced since the previous new moon in Capricorn at the start of the year. How was your year? How has your year unfolded? Okay, that's normal. We always do that. What has evolved? What feels stagnant? Okay, we have to document these things. Everything in life has its own timing. That timing, though, is ultimately up to you. If something did not align for you the way you had envisioned, something else may need to come into your life. Okay, that's normal. Spend some time in this new moon in Capricorn reframing your challenging moments of the past year. Also consider how you spent your energy this year. That's new year stuff. This is all new year stuff. This is the new moon, set the intentions. We're at the end of the old year gathering what we want to do for the new year. We're reflecting. All of this is every year stuff. Then view things from a different angle. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. See if there's anything from the past year that needs your attention. Yeah, so this is all New Year stuff. Let's see. It presents a powerful astrological landscape with several significant planetary aspects influencing its energy. These aspects affect not only the new moon, but bring unique opportunities collectively and individually. So there will be a challenging square aspect between Jupiter retrograde. Okay, so that's definitely a return for me, and Saturn. Um, all right, so they're talking about the tensions from the aspects. It does talk about Saturn and Pisces asks us to review how our self-imposed boundaries limit our expansion. That is absolutely true. I have been paying attention to ways that I am, okay? And then I've been playing with doing different things. And I noticed how it's expanding my boundaries. And I literally said to myself last night, because I don't like to go out at night pretty much unless I'm going out to an event. I don't like to be out there driving, which I've been doing. Um, and it's been fruitful for me. And I thought, maybe I am letting go of limiting behaviors, beliefs, conditioning, and projections that may have been imposed upon me and all of us during our childhood, and we adopted them as our own. And now maybe I'm letting them go. So it could be limiting things put in place from our parents, our environment, some experiences we've had. And, this would be a time, absolutely a time to revisit these things, if it aligns with your intuition, okay? Or just pay attention. Sometimes, just pay attention to what you're doing. Like, just be mindful of what you're doing. Are you doing things differently now, slightly different? And you're noticing that, oh, I used to be averse to this, but actually it's not so bad. You know what I mean? So pay attention to those things, because I think they will be telltale signs that you are expanding your your outlook, your horizons. You're expanding and maybe shifting your perspectives on things and embracing things that you were naturally closed off to in the past. So yeah, I think this Saturn and Pisces transit, which has been here for, I don't know, a couple of years or so already. It will be, Saturn will remain in Pisces until 2026. So this is the benefit. This could be the reward that Saturn brings. If you're willing to be mindful and pay attention to what you've always done and be willing to make some shifts, you know, um, allow something else to open up. Maybe open your doors a little bit more. Maybe lower your fort slightly, not all the way, just ever so slightly, so that you can receive the rewards that Saturn maybe already has in place for you. This is outside of the new moon, but this is part of the transit that is affecting this new moon. So look into that. Um, I actually love that. And it says it also encourages us to seek mentors who can help us understand and even support the development of our potential, if that applies to you. Um, the square aspects may manifest as a conflict on how we can step into our expansion in the next year, which is basically what I'm talking about. What limits what limits us more? The walls we built. See, I talked about the fortress. See, I didn't even read this. I just mentioned fortress because I know me, right? I know what people say to me. I know more specifically what men say to me. They tell me I have a fortress up, you know? And when I look at the type of men that saying these things, I go, is there any wonder that I have a fortress up? But you know, that's just really a side note. But I did mention fortress. And here it's saying, you know, walls we built to protect ourselves or the things we tell ourselves, and how do these things intersect? Okay, so that part is on point. There is a breakthrough available with this square. It looks like ascertaining internal mantras that support our potential and dismantle our limiting beliefs while also helping us ask for help from those who walk alongside us in life. We often limit ourselves by not feeling we are worthy. That is absolutely on point with this transit. Um, feeling we are worthy of support from others, feeling we are worthy, period, and then feeling we are worthy of support from others when others are willing to offer. The trick is to let these people into our lives and allow ourselves to believe. I don't really like that word. To intuitively know that we are worthy of their help. There is also a powerful opposition between Mars retrograde in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. This brings intense energy to the new moon. Maybe that's what I was feeling this morning. Mars in Leo typically expresses itself through bold creative actions and a desire for recognition. However, its retrograde motion suggests a need to reassess how we assert ourselves and wield our personal power. This is all on point. Pluto in Aquarius represents significant transformative changes in social structures and collective consciousness. The opposition between these planets may manifest as a struggle between individual desires and collective needs during the new moon in Capricorn. This aspect challenges us to question how our self expression and personal ambitions align with social responsibility. It's an opportunity to transform our approach to leadership and creativity and ensure that our actions serve our evolution as well as that of our communities. Also, the square between Venus in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, which is quite interesting, brings an element of excitement and unpredictability to our relationships. Venus in Aquarius promotes unconventional approaches to love, beauty, and social connections. That is me. I am a Venus in Aquarius. It encourages us to seek freedom and uniqueness in our relationships and creative expressions. Uranus in Taurus, on the other hand, revolutionizes our relationship with material sources and personal values. The square aspect between these planets can create tension around how we want to change and what we want to shift in our lives. All this is apropos to basically what I've been saying. Venus in Aquarius focuses on our heart, while Uranus in Taurus focuses on our tangible resources. This tension challenges us to find creative ways to balance our need for freedom and uniqueness with our desire for security and comfort. It's an opportunity to set intentions around innovative approaches to managing our resources, both material and social. We might be inspired to explore new forms of community, unconventional relationships, or alternative economic models that align with our evolving values. The new moon in Capricorn, so we're back to the new moon in Capricorn. The new moon in Capricorn calls for practical, detailed intentions, but the surrounding aspects add layers of depth and complexity to this process. So as we synthesize these various aspects influencing the new moon in Capricorn, we can see a complex interplay that challenges us to grow, transform, and find balance in various areas of our lives. So here's your invitation. Start to envision your next year. Begin by focusing on how you want to feel in the months ahead. We are all energetic beings and exist in a certain frequency. You can determine that frequency and then allow that to help you create a life that supports it. So decide how you want to feel each day of 2025. Grateful, content, joyous, abundant, peaceful. Let yourself feel this emotional frequency. Spend a few moments centering this in your body. You may not spend every moment in this emotion, although it will become your home frequency that you return to each day after you've allowed yourself to slip into another vibration. It will become your default state. I love that phrase, and I have been using that for a couple of months now. It will become your default state and the frequency that feels most like home to you. Having a vision and a frequency to anchor your attention allows you to understand and say no to distractions. It helps you each day hear your resounding yeses because they align with your chosen frequency. When faced with a decision, you can ask yourself, does this align with how I want to feel? If the answer is no, the decision is clear. Also, spend time before the new moon becoming conscious about where and how you spend your energy. If you are busy focusing on something that is not aligned with your desires, then you are wasting your resources. Become very clear this new moon on what you want to experience in 2025 and ensure that it aligns with the frequency you want to feel. As you reflect on how you spend your energy, notice where you are getting energy back and where you are losing it. That again has also been coming up for me. Align with Capricorn's affinity for structure to create containers and boundaries for the things that take too much from you. If certain emotions are taking up, if certain emotions are taking up your attention and focus, commit to resolving and releasing them. Spend a limited time, spend a limited amount of time each day processing your emotions until they are no longer clamoring for your attention. This practice may look like dedicating, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes a day to journaling about your emotions so they feel seen and heard rather than overtake your entire day. Okay, while I am thinking about it, I'm gonna write down this app for you. It's called How I Feel. I'm going to put it in the chat. And this is a great way to track your emotions on a daily basis. I find it very interesting. It's a very simplistic app. I wish it were a little more detail. I would absolutely would have paid more for it to get more detail. But all it basically does is it brings up a calendar and it has maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 emotions you tap on the day. And it asks you to choose where are you feeling in your emotions. And boom, and that's it. That's all of it that it does. But what does it do when you look back on it after a week or two or something like that? You start tracking how you're feeling. Let's say, you're happy. You find that you generally it's almost impossible to be happy all day, every day. Okay, listen, watch the movie Inside Out. You'll see why I say that. But if you're if you're if that is the case, then great. You might track, this is a time of my life when certain things are going on, yada, yada, yada. Or you might track whenever I'm around this person, or I know I have to be, or I have to anticipate being with a particular group or person or an atmosphere. How do I generally feel? I mean, it really does, even though it's really streamed down, you know, in terms of its simplicity, it does it does make a difference. Okay. So I'll leave that at that. So yeah, check out the app How I Feel, HIF. All right. Now moving on. There isn't much more to this. So also create everyday practices that help you align with the frequency you want. I feel like I have cotton mouth. These can include affirmations, meditations, or simple rituals that help you embody that vibration. When you exist in the frequency you desire, then situations appear that help support that frequency. This is how we become powerful manifestors by regularly tuning our vibration to our chosen frequency. Okay, let me read that again. First, let me get something to drink because I swear. I wish I were on camera, but moon days are my um, task days, so I'm absolutely not getting on camera. um, where do I want to go back to? When you exist in the frequency you desire, then situations appear that help support that frequency. This is how we become powerful manifestors by regularly tuning our vibration to our chosen frequency. I guess I have to slow down a little bit. Capricorn teaches us that energy and attention are precious resources. Holding a clear vision and focusing your energy creates magic in your life. When you have these two components, things begin to evolve rapidly as you meet the people you need, hear the intuitive hits that help you, and find the courage to take the leaps presented to you. And actually, that's it. I felt like I wanted to say more, but that was it. So, this honestly, this is why I like the yoga journal. But again, like I said, you have to, um, I have to critically think about what I'm reading, basically. Let me see if there's something else I want to share with you before I end this program. There was also something else. Oh, I wanted to tell you what I did with all of that juicy love emotion. I was ready to pour it out on someone. And I was trying to contemplate how I wanted to communicate with that person. And my common sense was saying to me, that's not what you said you were going to do before. Like I was reminding myself, you said you was not going to do that. And I was thinking, but I'm feeling this tremendous amount of love, and I want to reach out to this person. I want to hear their voice, and my conscience was saying, but that's not what you decided, you know? And then I remembered, okay, we are doing things differently. So how can I do something different than what I would have done in the past, you know? And but this feeling, this overwhelming feeling of love and emotion was consuming me almost. And I finally said, well, let me just wait. It's almost like when you have a craving for some sweets, and experts say, just wait 20 minutes, it will pass. And so I said, okay, let me just wait. And I continued on to focus and journal, and 20 minutes or so literally passed. And I thought, okay, the feeling had calmed down. But the thought the intention, the want, the desire to reach out to this person was still there. And I don't know how I fought that off, because in the past I just couldn't. I couldn't fight it off. It was so intense. I don't know if any of you have ever felt that before. It was just this incredible intensity to reach out to this person. And but I know I had assessed the situation, and it was not feasible to reach out just on that particular day. It just wasn't. Like, everything has to do with timing. So yes, I was going to reach out to the person, but it wasn't it wasn't time yet. And I was about to compromise my boundary. I was about to renege on my own contract to myself. I was about to abandon myself, disrespect myself, dishonor myself, um, and create more conflict within myself, um, just because this tremendous feeling of love, this intense feeling of love, just consumed me out of nowhere. I told you, I woke up and there was this overwhelming joy and happiness. And so as I sat there and I'm buying time, I'm really biding my time, because, the, it was nothing for me to just be like, forget it. I'll call this person, I'll text this person, and I was like, no, the timing is not correct. It's not accurate. We have to, for me, I have to present myself in a way that reflects the love I have for myself more than anyone else on this planet. Love for self must come first. So I guess I breathed at some point. In those cases, here's my advice: you need to breathe 3 times, okay? But I didn't do that. But I did breathe, or at some point, I was able to bide enough time where my intuition could be heard. Okay. So all this time before that, my logical mind was saying, you said da 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 da. It was like a conflict I was having, And the emotional side, it was kind of like the inside out thing. This literally was like a scene out of the playbook of the movie Inside Out. The sad part was saying, no, it's not time. And the happy part was saying, let's do it. Let's just do it. I feel it's good. Um, and so literally, this is literally a scene from this movie. And I sat with it. I think my sad side overcame my happy side, or balanced out my happy side just enough for my intuition, my higher self to kick in. Okay. Because I needed to hear from my intuition. I needed to be clear. And I think that was why I try to buy myself some time, because I wanted some absolute clarity, right? So these are the promises I made to myself, and these are the things that I know are for my highest and best good. And I did not want to abandon what I knew was my highest and best good, despite this overwhelming feeling, of joy and love. Like, how do you not how do you not act on that, right? So that maybe this is an emotion that is just heightened. It was just a heightened sense of love. And I needed to calm it down just enough to get clarity. So my intuition kicked in as I was sitting there with the journal in my hand, and I was biding some time. And it said, what about yourself? Or it said, what about baby girl? Okay. And I closed my eyes, and, I talk to my inner child. I speak to her, and I reinforce how much I love her. But I know when I'm busy, when I'm in the middle of projects, and days and weeks can go by, and I'll just be doing these outside things. I'll just be basically tasking, even though I journal every day, even though I breathe every day, I'll conduct Reiki, I'll do different things, but I just I get lost into the busyness, and I'll check in periodically and I'll say, I haven't forgotten you, but technically I kind of forgotten her, because I'm focused. Like I just have to focus on the crises that are in front of me, right? So if you got crises going on, you got this going on, you got that going on. These are things that are demanding our attention on a daily basis. Okay. And I know some of us are so pious that we just, don't forget to do certain things, but I do. I'm very human. I do. But I do check in. I check in enough to say, listen, I know it's been a minute, but I got you. All right. I just need to do these things. I need to focus on these. I need to get these things out of the way, kind of thing. Um, because I don't want to put into place those practices that Christianity implores, you know, 7 days without Jesus, a week without Jesus, WEEK makes you weak, WEK. That bull, 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 that bull, that bullshit. Your higher self is always there and is always working with you. And when it's time to tap in, you will tap in, period. Bottom line. Your high self will never abandon you, even though maybe on the outside you feel like you are abandoning your higher self. It lets you know, okay, this time is for me, period. So in that moment, I tapped into what I call baby girl and I said, how are you? And I just got this visual of her just being stressed out, which is really me feeling a little stressed out, because there's so much going on. And then I'm feeling this unusual, out of the blue, intense feeling of love. And it's like, I could just visualize her being like, And I said, it's okay. I love you. I'm here for you. And then I could visualize her calming down. Hold on, loves. Hold on. All right, sorry. And I could visualize her calming down, relaxing. And at that moment, I started to talk to her and tell her how much I love her. And I repeated it over and over and over again. I actually saw a woman do this to a baby, her niece. She was actually in her last stages of cancer. I was there at her home doing paperwork. There was a bunch of people around. They were witnesses, family, friends, and she was tying up her last minute, matters. And, someone there had a baby, which, had a brand new baby, which was her niece. And she took this baby and she was cuddling her, and not just cuddling her, she lifted the baby basically up above her head. And it was like she just kept speaking to this baby, I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, that's like, it's fine. I love you. I love you. I said, someone says it a few times. Cool. It's pretty. It's great. But she repeated this thing over and over, like 20 or more times. And at that point, I stopped and looked and I was like, who exactly is she talking to? You know? Because she was looking at this baby, and like I said, she repeated, I love you. I love you. She was very intentional. I love you. I said, she is speaking past that meat suit of that baby, and she's speaking directly to the soul and the higher source of that child. I could see that. I could see that. And I thought, wow, huh. When you get around different cultures, you see that they do different things, and you go, huh, that's quite interesting. And so I started doing it to myself, right? You can absolutely be on code with your culture 24/7. But if you see something from another culture that you find that could add value to yourself, then do that. If you decide to market it, then give credit where credit's due. That's a little side note. Okay. Don't take it as your own. You don't steal. Don't plagiarize. Give credit where credit is due. I'm just saying. So this is why I'm telling you this story about this woman, because this is not something that I arbitrarily did for myself. This is something that, the universe in its kindness and compassion for me gave me the opportunity to witness from someone else. So this is why I'm telling you this story. So I go on to say this to myself yesterday, but I want to modify it, right? I don't want to say it in the way she said it, but I do want to say it with the intention and the intensity, okay? And with purpose. And so I continue to say, I love you. I love you. But it was very important. The key thing here is to repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. More than a few times, well, more than that. Repeat it to the point where it seems ridiculous. That's how much you do it. And so I did that. And as I focused on my inner being, my inner self, I said, I have an an overwhelming amount of love that I am feeling here. I don't know what to do with it. And I was trying to give it to someone else. But in that moment, as I started to care for myself and to talk to my baby girl and to speak to her and to give her the attention that she absolutely deserves, that she absolutely has been coping without, for some weeks, if not a couple of months now, a few months. And as I'm giving myself the care and the attention that I need, I decided in that moment that I was going to dedicate this incredible, intense, overwhelming abundance of love to myself, to my baby girl, to my higher self. And I wanted her to fill up again because she was clearly on E, as I could visualize. And so I set out pour, to start to distribute this love that had filled up in my heart and that was bursting, literally, it was bursting. And I decided to pour it into my baby girl, myself, my higher self, my inner being, my spirit, my soul. And I poured out and I poured out and I poured out. And in that moment, as I'm pouring, I was like, I've decided that I'm giving all this to you, i.e., myself. And I'm pouring out, and the phrase came up, you don't cast pearls on a swine. Don't cast your pearls on a swine. I was ready to pour out this love on someone who has their own hurt and has been operating, in a sense, out of their own hurt, not towards me, but just out of themselves. I wanted to pour all this love on this person. But I was like, no, that would be like casting pearls to a swine. Why? Because this person isn't ready for that. This person wouldn't have been able to appreciate, like to the core of what I would have been giving them. They would not have been able to appreciate it. And at that moment, it became casting pearls on a swan. Now, I can look up this scripture for you, all right? Because everything in context, right? I know. And I may, at this point, I might be able to share my screen. So, casting pearls before a swine. And the scripture says, casting pearls before swine is an idiom that means it's a waste of time to give something valuable or good to someone who won't appreciate it. Didn't I just say that? I just wanted to put it into context, that I was not taking it out of context. So that's not the scripture, but that is the essential explanation of it. And the scripture is Matthew 7:6 for those Christians out there who need that. It says, give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Okay, what's the English version, the English Standard Version? Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast your pearls before the swine, lest happily they trample them under their feet and turn and rend you. I don't know what rend means. So let me give another version of the scripture. Do not give that which is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, for they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. I'm guessing that's what rend means. So there you go. And turn and tearing someone into pieces can be doesn't mean physical. It could be, but it could also mean emotionally. Like someone who truly is not in a place where they can truly appreciate the joy and the gem that you are and the gift that you are and the diamond that you are, the pearl that you are. They are not in a space to appreciate that, then yes, that is giving anything of that intense value to someone is like casting pearls before a swan. It wasn't worth it. And in that moment, was I had calmed down. I had gotten the clarity I needed. I had decided this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this intense emotion to myself. And then I said, we're going to go out because I had a massage scheduled for myself yesterday. And I said, we're going to do this and we're going to extend this. And, we're going to we have the massage schedule. We'll do that. And I'll take you out to lunch and we'll do that. And I did go out to lunch and I went to one of my favorite spots and I was able to get a prime seat and watch my favorite team play football and they crushed the other team. And that brought me a lot of joy. So I just overwhelmed my baby girl with so much love and attention and affection to the point I was so at peace. I was so at peace. That even when I was done and left and they treated me like a queen there, I got a complimentary dessert and they gave me a second dessert to take with me. Like for the time I spent there and for the times they had to remake my food because it did not align with my diet and they were happy to do that. Like my bill was ridiculously low. Just so it was ridiculous. And I just gave what I probably would have spent in that lunch and I gave it to my server because she was so accommodating in a moment where she didn't have to be. She could have been like, okay. Well, they could have charged me for the stuff that I decided that I tried. And I was like, I really don't like this. They were like, no problem. Like they could have done so much, right? Out of out of this is policy. And they did not. I was treated with such humanity. I think about the people who are stars, quote unquote, or high level athletes or people who are an influence and they get treated like this all the time. And us everyday, blowjos, or I shouldn't say blowjos. We are the everyday commoners, for lack of a better way of putting it, in the world, in the word of the world as they see us. But we know better. We are absolutely anything but commoners. We are extraordinary and dynamic. Hello. Um, but we get treated like commoners on a daily. On a daily. If not our lives taken from us unnaturally, unnecessarily, with no thought or rhyme or reason. Okay. This is, generally how most of us, have to cope. Most of us, what we deal with in life, right? So I was treated like a human being yesterday. And that was just a lot of extra love that I was able to, you know, pour into myself, or someone helped pour into me. And maybe I was treated that way because I took the time to treat myself that way. That's what I did. So it would behoove me to take my own advice and take time and nurture and feed my inner self and not get caught up in the day-to-day stuff or get lost in daily cares of the world, and nurture myself, love myself, and see that manifested on the outside of me. So this is just a reminder. We do it all the time. We start the beginning of the year and we're so good at it. And then somewhere along the line during the course of the year, we just get lost in the sauce. But the good news is we come back. We remember. We catch up. We catch up. So no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. All is forgiven. All is love. As a matter of fact, there's nothing to forgive. We are human. We are human. We are human. So that's what I did yesterday. This is what occurred during the new moon energy. In new moons, the effect is 3 days before, 3 days after. And 3 days before, my moon was in Sagittarius, very dark moon, very balsamic moon, as they call it. And I enjoyed feeling that feeling. And the difference between yesterday and what I did in the past was, instead of looking for someone to give it to, I turned inward and gave it to myself. And that, my friends, is what we call growth. That is what we call improvement. That is what we call bettering ourselves. That is what we call love, essentially. And if it were a test, I'd pass that damn test to the infinity because I've been tested a lot lately. So I know this is long, and please forgive me. It took me a while to really get in my groove. I will do a timestamp for the Capricorn read because everything else before that is, was me fumbling around and trying to get in my groove. So I will start the timestamp at when I started reading for the new moon in Capricorn out of the yoga journal. And I know you want a card for it, right? Let's do a new moon. I use the bring love into the situation, so apropos. Bring love into the situation. I'm going to leave that one out because we know intuitively that's just what we need to do. But, oh, look, I have other ones here. I'm going to pull all these out. I had saved these, I'm sure, for a great reason. The energy is gone. I've gotten the benefit from them. And we're going to pull a Moonology card for you for today, specifically for, the new moon in Capricorn. New moon in Capricorn. The new moon is always in a waning state. Full moon starts with a waxing state. Wax on, wax off, if you will. Wax on, wax off. The moon is wax off. The dark moon. If I'm not mistaken, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are perfectly aligned. Am I correct about that? Sometimes I'm a little shoddy on my memory, which that is actually one of my manifestations for this new moon. What is a moon? I wanted to share my screen because I have figured out the sale issue. So a new moon is a phase of the moon when the moon's illuminated side faces away from the earth and the moon is not visible to the naked eye. So that is the new moon. I think I must have described an eclipse. But the new moon is when the moon faces away from the earth. When it faces towards the earth, it is a full moon or other facets of the moon. But on a new moon, a dark moon, it is not visible to our naked eye. Okay. See, I do a little generalized research. It's a bit generalized. So just a reminder, I'm going to put the name of the movie again in the description. It's called Inside Out. It keeps coming up, so I'm going to keep sharing it. There's also the app called How I Feel, HIF as in Frank, How I Feel, which is a great tool that can be used for you. And what else? It's pretty much, and I'll put the link to when I started reading the article from Yoga Journal on this new moon in Capricorn, which actually, contrary to what that article says, the new moon is officially at 5:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon, I would say, moved into Capricorn at approximately 5:28 a.m. today. Eastern Standard Time, but the official new moon does not occur until 5:26 p.m. EST. All right. Those things I like to have on here. Those are good details to have. All right. So let's get this going. It's his card. The wax. All right, come on. Let's keep it focused. The cards are want to jump. I tell you, they're ready to come out. They will. We just need one card. Just something potent or something we can delve into a little bit. I have so much to do today. Gosh, I guess I'm going to be working hard tonight because my mind feels a little watery today. Yeah. I know what I need to do. I know what I should be doing, but I haven't done it yet. I'm playing around, basically. I'm playing around. All right, ready. Look at that. This is the card of choice. Oh, stop playing. Oh my God. I wish I could just like show you this on camera. I may have to. I mean, it's kind of weird because you're not going to believe what I say. You're not going to believe what I show you. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. I promise you this isn't a farce. You heard me shuffling. At least I think you heard me shuffling. I'm trying to get it together. I'm pulling out my bobby pins. I'm trying to be presentable on camera. You know, I am in the middle of doing chores today. I am in the middle of doing chores. And you know, it's just kind of weird. You are forcing me on camera because you're not going to believe me when I show you this. You're not going to believe me. So I'm going to try and make myself as presentable as possible. Okay. Give me some grace here. This is my chore day. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I had to pull out the bobby pins and, you know, take off the bonnet. All right, I think that's fine. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here's my deck. Look what came out. All right, let me just, I have to show the whole deck because I got to tell you what came out on the bottom of the deck, which is what I pulled. Do you see that? Do you see what it says? New moon in Capricorn. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. New moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. That is the message. That is the message for the end of this year, this final new moon in the year. Your hard work is paying off. See, I said I didn't like that kumbaya stuff. Oh, this is great. You're going to be fine. This is it, this is it. No. You know why? Because I know we Capricorn work our asses off. And we really feel like we're getting what we deserve. Stop playing. Most of us, especially the early Capricorns, December 22nd on, particularly the 22nd. As the month increases, you know, a lot of them feel like I put in the hard work, I get what I get. Let's move it. Let's keep it moving. Let's get more. But this is encouragement. This is apropos to Capricorn. A lot of times we do feel like, where's our reward? Why is the universe always having us work, 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 work? And we get nothing in return. And everybody wants everything from us all the time. We're so resourceful. Our hard work is paying off. As slow as it might seem, as little as it might seem, as stingy as it seems sometimes, a lot of time actually, our hard work is paying off. So keep going. It's paying off. We can feel it. As much as Pluto and Capricorn was shielding us from other tragedies, a lot of the work we did during that Pluto and Capricorn, there are rewards trickling in, trickling through, trickling through. They're trickling in. And we continue to work. We don't want to keep working sometimes. I'm going to just tell you the truth. We don't. We're tired, you know. We are the masters of the mountain and the sea, both. We are the quiet water sign, and people forget. See that fishtail? And then we could be down deep in the waters or way up in the ethers. But that's the card I pulled. This was on the bottom of the deck. I had to show you. I had to show you this. So you know I'm not lying. Your hard work is paying off. Keep going. You are nearing an end to a cycle for some of you. You're entering a new cycle for some of you. And some of us are just down in the weeds, in the muck and mire, just trying to survive. In every case, we are working hard. And our hard work is paying off. That is apropos. When Pluto was in Capricorn, it didn't feel so much. It was just a tearing down constantly of our structures, belief systems, conditioning, programmings. It was complete devastation. While it was protecting us, which was pretty unusual, right? To have both at the same time. To have both going on at the same time, a destruction and a protection. I can't make this up. I couldn't have even thought of that myself. Today is the new moon in Capricorn. The moon is currently in Capricorn. And the official new moon happens at 5:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is the card. This is the message for us. Our hard work is paying off. We don't always get to see the benefit and the effects, the effect we have on other people. We don't always get to see it. They don't always tell us. Most times they don't. People are watching us. We don't even know that they're watching us. We're all in this fishbowl, always being watched and monitored by some blow Joe out of nowhere. It's like, I noticed a change in you, or I noticed you've been losing weight, or I noticed you've been gaining weight, or I noticed that despite your back problems, you still get out here and walk your dog every day anyway. Just little things, effects that we have on people that we don't know about. And this is why we have to continue to nurture ourselves, our inner selves. Because we won't always know. Most times we don't know. Maybe 2% of the times we know. Maybe. For some, maybe 10%, 20%. For me, I would pretty much say I'm being a little stingy. I know more than I say I know. People hint. But the purpose is that you don't need people. The whole point is that we don't need people in that sense to validate us. The whole point of this is validating ourselves, knowing for ourselves, seeking within, learning within, getting clarity within. When you treat yourself like a king or a queen, then that energy flows to you, just as it said in the article. Don't always want to work. I'm just going to tell you, I'm just keeping it a buck. Capricorns get tired of climbing the damn mountains. We do it because we know it, and there's value in work. We value work. And people do use us. They try to use us because of that. And then we have to deal with those energies. Like, you're going too far. And you ever see a Capricorn that try to take the reins and say, well, I always come to you. Why don't you meet me? And then everything goes chirp, 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 chirp. Because how dare we ask someone else to actually use their resources? I feel like a little resentment is coming out. But it's true. Just being honest. 'Tis why we have to nurture ourselves, care for ourselves, love ourselves, be compassionate with ourselves, be generous with ourselves, like overly generous. Stop casting your swine before, I'm sorry, stop casting your pearls before swine. They cannot possibly understand or appreciate what you are bringing to the table. They don't know the value of what you're giving like you know the value of what you're giving. We're not literally calling people pigs or swine. We're saying the energy they are in is just not in a place where they can truly value your pearls, your energy, your time, your resources, your emotions, your generosity. They cannot possibly fathom the value of all of that, and then some. And so you must give it to yourself. If someone can value it, then by all means, give them. Give. But if you're dealing with a questionable energy, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and prince. What is princes of? I have to look up the scripture because I swear maybe that will be one of my things is memorizing this scripture beyond any shadow of doubt. So we do not wrestle. See, there it is. That's all you need to see. Ephesians 6:12-13. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's it. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we wrestle against. Leave the people thing out of it. What is their energy? Is there energy in here? Are they an energy of a principality and powers and rulers of darkness? Is that where they are energetically? Is that where their frequency is? Where is your frequency? See, I felt like my frequency was all off yesterday. 'Tis why I poured out all of that. It might have been just pent up love, just pouring out yesterday, just out of nowhere. And a new moon in Sagittarius. Shout out to us new moons in Sagittarius. We know how to get big. We rule by Jupiter. We go big or we go home. All right. So, yeah. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Give it to yourself until someone has demonstrated that they can appreciate and value what you're giving them. You don't have to hold back. Just give it to yourself. Just allocate it somewhere else until they're ready. You can still show them love and gratitude and appreciation and kindness and be civil. Civility never goes out of style. Temperance, all of that. So you're still demonstrating love. You're still bringing love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. See, all this new moon energy is all of that is new moon. All of it. Most of what I talk about is new moon energy now that I think of it. Most of this is pure new moon energy that I talk about. Maybe because I was born under a new moon. I just learned something about myself. Okay. So, yeah, this is your card. For the new moon in Capricorn, you get the new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Congratulations. All right, I'm out of here. I did good. I didn't look so, housewifey. I did not look so housewifey. I did with my bonnet on, but not so much. But we're going to get this stuff back up and get back to work. So I love you. 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 All right, beloveds. Take care. God bless. Happy new moon in Capricorn. Stay at peace. Make sure you bring love into the situation. And remember to always smile. And may your smile shine as bright as the beautiful star that we all are. All right. Peace.